You are now locked in to the Sitting Down with the Sisters podcast.
Why is it Tupac killer got arrested and all of a sudden Tupac proposed? He said, there's a campaign! Conspiracy! There's a campaign!
And then, did he release the album?
Oh, because he knows he's going to get arrested soon.
He starts giving back to people their money.
Wow!
So not to unpack.
Wow! And he gave his artists their publishing. Oh!
You know who knows what's going on, young man?
Can I say something?
Young man,
guys, as much as like babies or like, as much as like
young Miami.
Young Miami knows.
Miami. Miami.
Florida.
Miami should know. We need to set up a separate YouTube channel.
Conspiracy theories, because it's getting real.
Because I have a lot of them.
Because I think they're real.
Oh yeah. It's not just in my brain. Hi guys. Welcome back to another episode of Sitting Down with the Sisters. We're your hosts. I'm Ashley.
I'm Ayo.
Kenny. And we are Nana. Do you know what?
Harmonizing.
Because we're the king of the king.
Of the king. Okay.
No. Do you know, I don't even know how to introduce this girl because she does it all.
Wow.
Like I literally know she does it all. She's a voiceover artist.
Wow.
She's in the industry.
Hallelujah.
She's behind the scenes.
Yeah.
She's helped manage your favorite artists. I don't know what to say, so I'm just gonna leave her to really introduce herself. So,
Hello.
what's your name?
Me, myself, and I. You know, hey guys, hello. Yeah, I'm excited to be here. You know, I'm sitting down with the sisters. Okay, that's it. You know, so no, it's gonna be a good conversation. And also, I've known Ashley for a couple of years now. And I was like, girl, I've got to be on, got to support.
Thanks for coming.
What do you do?
Oh,
Tell us what you do. So what do I do? I live and I try my best. Because life be life. But no, so I work in music promotions, and as Ashley said, I do voiceovers as well. And yeah, I've been working in the industry for a couple of years, about 5 years or so, working at record labels, and in the broadcasting industry. And essentially, yeah, working with artists and music promotions and campaigns and things like that, basically.
That sounds so fun.
Wow.
And by the way, she's done voiceover for Capital FM and Kiss.
Wow. Yes.
Celeb in the building.
And she also has a podcast, How It All Started.
I do.
Tell us about that.
Yes, so How It All Started is all about basically me interviewing people all about their start in the industry, how they, broke through to get, into what they're doing now. So, I've interviewed, a variety of people in the industry. So, artist managers, from people that are execs to artists, like things like that, basically. And yeah, just getting to know how they started in the industry. They're just in terms of their story, how they kind of got to where they got to, and just kind of their backgrounds. And also play some games, we have some fun, we chat, we have a conversation. And that's that.
That's
been your favourite guest so far?
Oh, good question.
Oh, that's it. You know what? I feel like favorite is a funny word, but I'd say more so like a full circle. So I'd say he's actually my friend now. His name is Tom Mucci. So he's an actor, influencer, and now he's moving into music. And I remember a couple of years ago, when I was like, I really want to have a podcast. And this was before we were friends. I remember listening to him on a different podcast, and I remember saying he's someone that I could see that I feel like I could really get along with. And then fast forward as the years went on, ended up, meeting up, ended up becoming friends, and actually interviewing him. So it just ended up being such a full circle moment. Wow. Yeah, and what I really liked was in the interviews that he was doing, I watched, he really talked about his relationship with God a lot.
I love him.
Yeah, and he was just so open about, and literally it was that podcast. And he was just so open about his relationship with God, and I feel like that for me was so important to know that there are people in the industry that have that, because
and they're vocal about
it. We all know what the industry can be about.
Yeah.
It's good to know that we have people that are for God on there.
Facts.
Dirty out there.
Facts. It'd be scary, child. But I'll say that's definitely one of my favourites so far.
That sounds lovely.
You guys better go and check it out.
All her details will be down below where you can find her and stuff.
Yes.
So jumping right into it, literally we picked this topic because I think we can all relate to it because we're past the age of 25.
Thank you.
Thank you for reminding us.
Mama, we made it.
We made it, boy.
It's so funny the different reactions. I'm just
I know. This girl was like, we made it.
Not again.
Celebrate,
That's true.
So the topic today is how, like, the struggle of making friends past the age, past the age of 25.
Yeah.
And I think we can all relate to this because I think we touched on it a little bit in our previous episode with Beryl, shout out to her, where we spoke about the older you get, it's kind of, people have like a defense like up, a guard up, and rightfully so, because you never know people's intentions, you never know what people truly want with you, and so that makes it unfortunate as well for people who do have good intentions, because there are people out here genuinely looking for friends. Like, I see so many adverts nowadays of apps that are promoting like friendships, like sign up to find friends. Like, there are so many people looking for genuine friends, so I want to know you guys' thoughts.
Do you know what? Yeah. I love this topic because friendship is a big thing to me, but I feel like we should start from when we were younger. So when you were younger, guys, how did you find making friends? Like, did you find making friends easy? Is it something you enjoy doing? Like, what?
Yeah, you know what? Like, I feel like it's a good thing you touched on being younger, because I feel like sometimes your younger years are kind of like a foreshadow to like your like how you'll be in you know, when you're an adult. Yeah, and I feel like I've always, one common theme I've noticed with myself is I've always had like that close friend, but I've also been a floater. So like I've had like friends in different groups or like different groupings. So like depending on different activities. So if I was in like so and so dance class after school, my dance friends, school council friends, like whatever the case may be. But then I've always had my core friends, and I feel like that's followed me throughout like uni and work, and like even in work I'll have my work friends that I'm close to, but I also have like my at home friends, you get what I'm saying? So I feel like that's kind of been like a common theme for me, I'd say, you know?
That's very interesting. I think whilst everyone was just talking, I was just trying to think of my own journey growing up, and I don't know, I'm not proud to say it, but I don't think I'm as social as I thought I am.
You don't think?
I don't think so. Like, it's
to be fair, I know what you mean.
Do you know what I mean? I don't think I'm as social as I thought I am. Like, even now in my adult years, I'm very content. I've said this, but I'm very content. I'm so content with the friends I have. I don't know if I would be telling the truth if I said I would want to make more friends. Like, do you know?
That's honest.
And it's basically from what you said. It's just about not knowing people's intentions. I'm very big on trust, and I feel like I found the ones for me, and I can rely on them. And it's taken me a lot to get to where I am with trust. So why would I then put myself in a position where I'm open to, like, you know, a lot of potential and trustworthy people? You know, so growing up, I feel like I've had my circle. Like, even looking at my journey from secondary school. You know, when you talk to a lot of people, especially new people, and you talk about your journeys, I always hear people say like, oh, my friends from like secondary school, and I'm just like, oh my god, like, that's true, you make friends in secondary school, you keep them, you move. But I have a handful of friends from secondary school, handful of friends from uni, a handful from do you know what I mean, post uni as well. So I'd say, like, I don't know why it's like that. I'm not complaining about it.
Do you feel like you found it easy to make friends when you were younger?
A lot easier to make friends, and I think part of that reason is what I said. Like, I don't know if we spoke about it on the podcast, but when you're younger, you have different stages in life that you have to go through. You have primary school, you have, do you know what I mean? There's routines, like, they're just stages in life, you know, because you have your whole life ahead of you. Whereas the age we're at right now, it's not stagnant, but it's sort of like the choice is yours as to the next steps that you take. Do you know what I mean?
More monotonous.
Exactly. I think that's the word I'm looking for. So I think that's why it's harder post 25.
I get that.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I agree. And I feel like also, like, post 25, one major theme is that there's more of a choice. Sometimes are your friends in school and whatever, it's like kind of situational.
You only friend them because you see them every day.
This is it.
Right.
So like post 25, it's like
well, who's more accessible?
More accessible.
You have to be more intentional.
Because we're busier.
You're busier. And it's stages of life. Like, sometimes you find, like, okay, if someone's in a relationship, that could alter your friendship. Different job levels, financial, what location.
Everything.
There's so many more variables, you know? So,
what do you think?
I think I'm similar to Nana, I'm not gonna lie. Like, in primary school and secondary school, I had like my core friends, and then I was also friends with different people from different groups. Like, I got along with so many different people in my year group. So, you know how some people used to say like, oh, if these two friends aren't in, then I'm by myself. No, if you're not in, like I have other friends to chill with. Like, it doesn't matter if you're here or not. Like, it didn't really affect me. But I also think that's because when I was younger, I was a lot carefree because I wasn't thinking, if I befriend this person, then they're gonna do X, Y, and Z to me. I was just thinking, if like I'm friends with this person, I'm gonna have a great time. We laugh, blah blah blah. In class, like we're always laughing, talking. So why not carry on that friendship outside of that? Whereas now, when I'm older, it has changed a little bit. But I do think I still have like a similar approach to when I'm younger. Like I know my core friends. I already have like my inner circle. You know, that's not changing. But I wouldn't say I'm closed off to making friends. What about you?
See, I feel like I'm probably the same as I was as a kid as I am now. I'm very like, I am a very social person, I think, but I'm also someone that's very comfortable by myself. I'm both of them. So when I was younger, I think I made friends very easily, like, because I'm just a talkative. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just talk all the time. And so, like, I think people always gravitate to me.
I was literally about to say, I feel like with IO, people definitely
gravitate to me. Because I just be talking. I don't know.
I think with you, it's what you see is what you get.
Yeah, I'm very just in myself.
Yeah,
for sure. And then when I was in school, I had my core friends, specifically secondary school. It was me and Temi. But then I was a floater too, so I had friends. I had just random. They'll just be random. But I would speak to the most random people.
And it's like when the friendships will be formed with these people, I think,
how?
When did it get there? Because it would usually be the both of something.
When did I find her? Exactly. When did I find her? Because a lot of the people that me and Tem were both friends with, that we were friends with the same people that we had a group. But then outside of that, I also had other people. I was just. And then that's when I met Benga. I met Benga in secondary school too. Benga was there.
A lot of the friends I had in secondary school was through Ayo because she'd bring.
I would just bring everything. They'll just come around. I met so and so. Do you know what I mean?
Bring different people all the time.
I'm very much a community person, I think, as well. So I've always just enjoyed like having different types of friends as well. So I remember even like Oyibo people. So we grew up in like South London, so we was around a lot of black people in our secondary school, for instance. But we had like there was this one Oyibo girl. In one of our classes, I would play with her hair all the time. And I'm like, you just be thinking from where to where. How did I get there? But it's there. Inquisitiveness. Like I've always just been very just like out there.
But that's the innocence of being young. It's so easy to make friends because you don't think about the deep rooted stuff later on at a certain age. And you know how we've just spoken about all the obstacles and all the potential factors that could influence friendships when you're an adult. Imagine having all those factors and then you can't, like, I don't know how to explain it, but I know what I'm trying to say. Like, with all those factors and being involved, then why would you want rubbish people around you? Untrustworthy around you. You only want to be with people that are actually worth your time. And when you start to look at a lot of friendships and you start to deep the substance that's required, a lot of people don't fit that criteria.
And that's why people drop off along the way because, like, say for instance, so me and Tem have been friends since literally the first day of year 7, but there's many people we met along the way and they're no longer in our lives, and that's not because they're bad people. We just didn't. Our paths just didn't grow together. And that's okay. I think as I've gotten older, I remember when I was going to uni, I said it in our last episode, I wasn't open to making friends at all. Like I was so anti. I said I've got 10 years actually. Who else do I need? Like Jenny, that was my mindset. That was just it. But I think
to study.
Do you know what I mean? Even that too. I was there. Anyway. But like I think what I realised when I was at uni was the power of community, and so I realised that as much as you might not want new friends, you're going to meet new people, and there are people that God's going to bring along your path that are going to aid you in your journey, and they're going to sharpen you. They're going to be there for you in a way. So I've made a lot of very good friends post uni and even post 25, but it's because of alignment, and I've picked those people versus it's just happening. And I'm very big on the energy around. Oh god. I remember when we the transitioning from secondary school to sixth form. You just know people grow, people change, people develop. The people that you probably picked in secondary school, you wouldn't want to hang around with them anymore in sixth form, and that's okay. But it's because you know what you want. I knew, for me, I don't know, from a young age as well, I knew I didn't want my life to end up rubbish. And the thing is, when you're around,
your friends can influence.
changed the trajectory.
Yes.
I've seen so many people. I remember when we was in secondary school, in year 7, there were people that were one way, yeah. You get to year 11, they're unrecognizable.
Two
completely different. And it's all because of influence of friends, because they came from a good home, for instance. Or they came from, they came with good influence, good morals, good ethics. Like, do you know what I mean? When you go into these places, unfortunately, especially if you're not someone that's like
headstrong,
firmly rooted, headstrong, a lot of the time you can just sway. And so you can, your life where you thought you were going to be at the end of year 11, you're nowhere near it.
Yeah. No, it's so true. And I feel like also another important thing is also upbringing. I feel like upbringing plays a huge part in friendship. So like, when I look at also like all my closest friends, I count them all as like day one friends. So literally my best friend from secondary school, from year 7 till now, literally met her on the first day of year 7, still friends now. All my uni friends, my best friends, literally met them freshers week, the first week. And I feel like I've just been that person where like, as soon as I find a connection with someone, I think it's just been a natural connection, and I've not tried to fight it like, oh, it's only the first week, but we should, no, if it works, right?
You know, it's so crazy to say that, because we met, my first day at our old job, I met her on the very first day. And I think after that, you'd gone and did like
I went to the news,
program we went, and I remember you came back and then we walked past each other, we stopped each other, it was like,
we saw each other,
and since then, just locked in. So it's so good you mentioned that.
I literally have noticed that the common theme has been, all my friends have been day one friends, even my sixth form friends, the people I met throughout the first month or two, those were my friends that kept consistent. And then to take it back to the upbringing thing, so I have 3 older sisters, but like, the age gaps are huge, so like I was technically like an only child for like the majority of my life, right, up until I guess end of uni. And then I realized like, hold on, I think I also like picked up loads of friends because I didn't have siblings around. So naturally it's like I just had a community of people to kind of fill in that sibling gap, to lean on.
That's a good approach.
You know, so I think sometimes there's also a bit of a tie with like upbringing and like, because some people I find that also do have like a lot of siblings, they don't gravitate towards making friends as quick because they already kind of have that in the home.
Good point. It's interesting because I was gonna ask Tem this when she was answering about when she was younger. I feel like the reason Tem is very comfy with a smaller circle or just not really having it is because she has a small family. So it's literally just her
and your parents and her brother,
and they're literally like this. Like even when we was growing up and I was going to their house, like Tem's fine. That her and her family unit, like she's cool and it's trust. Like you knew that those people were for you. And similar with our friendship, we just knew we was always for each other. There was never a question. So we were just happy. Like,
that's actually so
that's what, and when you were speaking, I think that's why. And it's so interesting because I have quite a few siblings. Like I've got 3 siblings, similar to you, but we're very close in age. We're very close too. But I don't know, because of our own family dynamic when we were growing up, I was very responsible for a lot of things, so I looked for a lot of comfort outside of my house. So everybody has different like experiences.
And needs and wants and like
the exact needs and wants is
It's so crazy how your upbringing, like the dynamic of your upbringing, can really shape your friendships and just different people's paths. Because on being on the outside looking in, someone could easily be like, oh, you have 2 siblings, I have 3 siblings, so also you must be all really, really 3 siblings, you must be all really, really close, tight knitted. But then you don't. I'm not saying you're not, but you don't actually know.
You really do
not know.
It doesn't. It's crazy as well because family is always assumed to be this very like beautiful, harmonious thing. Do you know what I mean? But it doesn't always look like that at the beginning. Not everybody has that story, and like I wish, I feel like growing up, I don't know, it's so interesting how your upbringing shapes you, because I know for me, because I felt alone a lot as a child, even though I was with so many people, I know when I went out to make friends, I now wanted to make people never feel alone. That was my thing.
Wow.
So that's one of my biggest things. Like, it's just in life, like I've always wanted to be that friend that, not even like, because it's not like I fake it or I'm pretending or I'm like, it's just my heart wants to love and make people feel safe.
That's why I feel like people gravitate towards
that nurturing, that energy from you.
And I feel like I identified that young, but like everybody like identifies different things about themselves, as they grow up and stuff.
Absolutely.
And then you can see how it then plays a role in your friendship.
It really ties in, because I was having this conversation with my friends the other day, because within my friendship group, there was a situation amongst 2 friends within the group, and then I what I was saying to them, I was like, sometimes you have to understand where people are coming from. One of the friends, like she's like tight knit with her family, they do things together, so she has an expectation from her friends to always be together all the time, always want to be around. But then the other friend is more a friend of where she likes to kind of have her space, kind of do things. It doesn't mean that she doesn't want to be your friend. She just likes her alone time. So I have to tell other guys, like, remember, you two are also coming from two different upbringings where you're very family oriented, so you always want your friends around, always want your to be constantly texting, constantly calling. And then another friend is Gucci by themselves, like they don't mind having that time apart.
It's so funny that you say
You
that,
know?
because if you weren't sort of the middle person looking inwards, it could just look like two friends are just clashing or just having issues. Because you just literally reminded me of a friendship that I had that was very similar to that dynamic, and we thought maybe we're just not compatible, maybe we just don't understand. But if we had maybe taken time out to understand why we're so different in that sense, and you know, when you understand the reasoning behind the way someone thinks, it helps
so much.
it helps with a solution and how to do you know what I mean? How to, so it's very interesting that you actually mentioned that. Sometimes you don't take time to understand each other and how these thoughts or why someone wants something.
This is it, and because friendships evolve as well. Because it's like this friendship I'm specifically talking about is a friendship of 10 years. Like we've all been friends since first day of uni. Now we're all over 25 or 27, 26, 28, and it's like, okay, so now post 25, making new friends, but also evolving friendships. The friendships that prior to 25, when we're just chilling, life is living, going to uni. Now post 25, we're now different people.
Having different things,
real life.
It
doesn't need to be an issue or a problem.
Because that is so because it's so crazy. If me and Tem were the same way we were when we were in year 7, it wouldn't even make sense. Do you know what I mean? Where would the growth have been? Come on. Do you know what I mean? Even like the friend, so we met Ashley in sixth form. Even our friendship from sixth form.
Yeah, we met you at the secondary school.
You think so?
Like this.
Sixth form, literally.
Literally as well.
Wow. The first year of sixth form, me and her were very, very close, and then she didn't like me, and then
because I'm a selfish friend, I'm a jealous friend.
And that's also another layer of like also understanding that your close friends might have a close friend.
I didn't like that.
You know she's so crazy.
You didn't know man was fire.
I said, who is that?
And I brought someone into the it was always
powerful. It's so crazy you mentioned that as well. I think a lot of people, they like, how can I say it? They forget that their friends will have other friends.
Let's talk about
it. That's what causes friendships to
struggle.
I struggle with that.
I'm 26 years old. I struggle.
We're vocal about that, but we don't allow it to now cloud our judgment, or for it to now dictate how we navigate our friendship. Because I think so many people, the reason why they struggle making friends as well is because they start a new friendship, and then they do like a couple things together, and then they see, oh, this friend is now out with that friend. They didn't invite me. Oh, does that mean that they like me? And the conclusion that now draws from that is like, going back to what you said, the lack of understanding and just understanding that different friendships come with different dynamics.
That's
you even mentioned like you didn't know that we met in secondary school.
Literally,
they've never made me feel like they met in secondary school. Oh, that's the one that came after. But if I wasn't secure in myself, I would feel like every time she brings it up or she brings it up that they met in secondary school, I'd be like,
But I'm here now, baby.
And that's what I do remember what you're saying. It's like you can
doing that.
When you become like that, it's like you then have bad, like the way you view your friends, do you actually know their character? It's because as you're getting older, you should be learning them and learning how they love, learning how they're friends, like how do they love you, how do they treat you? You should know their character. So like when we say I didn't like her, it's not that I didn't, it's not that. But like it was more, but I need to clarify, just because on the topic of jealousy and friendship, it's a very real thing and I think people need to be honest. I think what it is like jealousy is an emotion that everybody feels. What you do and how you channel that emotion is very important. So like me, like I'm a very, my friends are my friends. They're my friends, okay? But then as I've gotten older, what I've realized is like we're all different people. So what I might need from a certain friendship, that person might not need from that friendship with me. They might need it from a different type of person because I'm a unique person, they're a unique person. That doesn't devalue anything about your bond with that person. But until you have the the time to analyze that and really deep that and not make it personal.
And find security.
Yeah, find security.
Yeah, find security in your friendship. That is it. Because I had a situation recently. So speaking of making friends post-25, so one of my closest friends, like now, I met her at 25. So we met because we ended up working at the same company. Right. But like, no, take the company out of it. We just
clicked.
Bonded, clicked. Like it was like raw. Where have we been? Like where have you been? Like all my life, I think. And then the friendship became so close. Holiday together, we outside, like we just like it's a friendship, right? We outside. So then one of my really close friends like started to pick up on like, oh, I just feel like you're with her more than me, and I was like, oh, like, nah. So I kind of did the thing. I was like, girl, no, like I kind of shut it down. I dismissed it because I was thinking like I'm always with you. But then when I look back and I said, you know what? Actually, I get where she's coming from, but then I have to understand, okay, why have I found more comfort in this season with that friend? Then I started to look, okay, cool. Me and this friend were both single, right? So naturally, as we're getting older, we're starting.
That's another thing.
Yeah. This is the thing.
You're a powerful podcaster.
No, you know,
start the whole nother conversation.
I have to really analyze.
You know how we were just talking about factors? That's another factor.
It's a big one.
A woman like post-25, like whether they're in a relationship or not. Gravitate.
I don't think people realise how much of a massive factor.
It's a massive factor.
Especially we're at the age where people are starting to build their
married, families,
it changes.
Yes.
So everyone's in such different phases in life right now. Whereas growing up, it was education. We're all doing our biggest every day. Even though we still had struggles growing up, but literally our biggest role would probably be our GCSEs or like
what choices
Whereas 25 is any and everything.
It's so weird because like when I think of other friends, I have a friend that's literally like expecting a baby, or her and her boyfriend are like they want to get a house. And it's so different because I have another friend. She's traveling the world. Like, it's different stages. It's so mad.
And this is the thing. It's like you need to, and then that's why I was like. So when I was relating to my friend from uni 10 years, I said our friendship is not devalued. It's just that in this current season I'm in, this friend also fulfills needs that you may not be able to meet.
Yeah.
So but that doesn't mean you're not my friend. Yeah. You're not. I don't value you.
Right.
Yeah, you're not a good friend.
Because there's gonna be a point where later things will pick up again. Like
thank you.
It's just a yin and yang. It's like
It's a season.
My thing is, as long as I think maybe where a lot of people's concern does come from is not with you specifically, but just in general. There's a thin line between a lot of people are scared of just. I don't know the word to use, but let's use the term like getting dropped and then being picked back up again
when it's convenient.
And everyone's obviously, no one wants to be taken for granted. So I think that's where it's rooted from.
It's true.
So I think if we're all going through those seasons where we're gelling with some friends more than others. I think the key is communication and still making that friend still feel valued. Like, fair enough, like we're in a season where we don't see each other as much because as life will have it, my colleague, I see them more often because we're always at work, so we have more to talk about. But still checking up on that other friend, where like, do you know what I'm trying to say?
No, friendships require investment as well, and that's what I think people forget. Because obviously, when you're in school, you're seeing them every day, so you don't realise you're investing. You don't actually, because you're literally talking to these people every single day. You have no choice but to be in their space. When you then leave, when you're post-25, the amount of investment friendship needs is on a different level. And if you're not willing to do the work, you will realise that friendships do crumble. Because you'll be wondering, wait, but me and that girl, we were so close. Like, what happened? But it's like where there was like probably it was just like a lapse in intentionality, and it's not like a thing to like now be assigning blame and stuff like that. It's actually just a thing of acknowledgement and communication. And I think that's the thing that's sometimes really difficult because nobody likes to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is key. It's very, very, very key. I think nobody wants to feel embarrassed and nobody wants to feel
like a beg.
Exactly.
That is it, especially with this London culture.
We see
no one wants to be a beg. No one wants to be
it started off of social media. You don't want to compliment people too much. Now I've seen that it's now transpiring into friendships, relationships. What is going on?
And it's like if you really value that friend, you will put that effort in. And it's funny, take it back to relationships with men, right? You'll go back and forth with that guy, but your friend, you don't go back and forth to keep the friendship.
Oh,
Oh my God.
or you're quick to.
I don't do back and forth.
Back and forth, you know.
Yeah, but you were back and forth
with
for 3 years, by the way.
Oh. Okay.
And it's mad because
there's not
going.
It's even situationship.
It's mad. Hey, that's mad. As a girl as well, you relate a lot with girls, and you know what it feels like to be on the receiving end of that kind of behavior, and yet you have more grace for a man. And like, okay, yes, fair enough. The romantic aspect of a person is a different vibe. It's a completely different vibe, and there's a certain type of security and safety.
But it doesn't make it.
But that doesn't make it superior. The thing about sisterhood, what I've learned as I've gotten older, nobody can replace my girl. Like there's literally nobody. The same way you will be in a very good relationship where you feel like nobody can replace your man. Nobody can replace good friends. Like no. I don't think people understand the power of friendship as well, because I think that romantic relationships are really idolized and put on a pedestal.
Yes.
But friendship, I even believe, good romantic relationship is actually has a foundation of friendship, and the romantic part is like the cherry on top. Because if your relationships don't have friendship in them, they are nothing.
I'm sorry,
they don't stand.
There's no foundation. We'll just give
it foundation.
Like you're standing on very shaky ground. That's why I know Christians, like, they get this rap about waiting to marriage to have sex and stuff, but God was onto it, and that's why you lot don't know that my God is bigger. You don't know that He's greater, that His ways are higher. The reason why He talks about that kind of stuff, like emotional purity, sexual purity, and things like that, is because everybody should be honest with themselves. Like, you're listening to me as I'm speaking on this mic. When you started engaging in physical things when you're in a relationship, you realize that you no longer invest as much in your emotional stuff. You no longer invest as much in your psychological stuff. Understanding that person as a person starts to dwindle, because when you see each other, it's only to do the deed, do performance, and that is it. And like, we all want to everybody wants to pretend that doesn't happen, but what you'll notice, if you're not intentional about investing in those very like fundamental aspects of your relationship, they can easily get pushed aside, because that physical element, it fixes something, it does something for your dopamine, it does something for your hormones. So then you start thinking that you're getting closer to a person, but you're not. You're not.
It's just that
you're not.
When you actually
it's only filling a void temporarily.
Because the only thing you can rely on, why people have marriages that last years. Like if you speak to anybody that's been married for 30 plus years, it's not because they were having sex.
It's every day.
No, it's
not. Even when you get married, a lot of married couples say there's seasons where you don't have it. So imagine now if you start off a relationship like
based on that, you're screwed.
What happens when you can't?
And it just all goes back to friendship.
Because that's the key. What happens when you can't? Because there's going to be a lot of times when you actually cannot. Pregnancy, after pregnancy.
So many things.
There's so
people struggle with illnesses. People struggle with things many a time in life. And people have put sex at this pedestal. Where sex is a very big part of a relationship. Nobody's discounting that. But if it's not backed up with an emotional connection, a physical connection that's not necessarily intimate in terms of sexually intimate. Like if there's no connection where you actually like the human that you're actually interacting with, you understand them to their core. You want so much. You want best for them. Like you understand them to the very fiber of their being.
That's it.
What is the point of what is like the physical element then becomes just it's just sensual, but it has no depth to it.
100%. And I feel like sometimes as well, like with sisterhood, like there's just a different level of like importance it can hold. I even believe that if you have a good core group of friends, it also improves your health. Like that's how deep I feel like
that's why the Bible says a friend sticks closer than a brother. And it doesn't say that for no reason. Because I realised my friendships, when I look at all of my friendships, like people that I know that I'll be friends with, and that's everyone in this room, mind you.
Tell them again.
I'm like, wow, my friends are healing. Like my friends are healing to my spirit. So I can only imagine when people, like, we can't ignore also that the fact that people have gone through very, very traumatic experiences with friends.
All right.
God, absolutely.
And obviously, I can't speak for male friends because I'm not a male. I can only speak for girlfriends. Like the stories, the horror stories that I've heard.
Not nice.
You're a friend today. Someone is coming to beat you up at your house tomorrow.
Like exposing your business.
They know what colour your pants you were wearing. They put it on the internet. It's very, very traumatic.
So why do we go there?
People have a lot of reservations, so I feel like that aspect we can't overlook because it's not easy.
It's right. To go we've been blessed. I feel like we're also the type of people that have actually just been blessed in friendship.
It's a blessing.
But you know, as much as we've been blessed, we've been aware.
That's
There's an aspect of blessing. There's definitely an aspect of favor.
Action.
But there's been intentional self-awareness that's needed for us to be who we are today.
Right.
Yes, you can see it as we're speaking from a place of privilege, and yes, in some aspects you can be completely correct. But that doesn't discount the fact that we've probably also had very bad friendship interactions. And it doesn't speak to, I think, what people think when they see people that have a lot of friends and very good friends. They assume, oh, it's just easy for you. No, a lot of the fact what you see, we're committed to being a good friend.
That
talk
is
less
it.
of, do you know what I mean? Talk less of people becoming good friends. We are committed to being a good friend.
Right.
Yes, I am committed to being a good sister to my girls for the rest of my life. I'd never want to be a stumbling block to their life.
Yes.
I never want to come and bring trauma to them and then be projecting my own insecurities onto them. I'm working on me so I can be good for them.
And that's what
a lot of people don't do, they don't do that. They just think people should come into their life and want to be their friend.
Yeah, and you know what's
It's an entitlement, if you ask me.
It's so interesting you say that about being a good friend, because I remember my most recent birthday, there was a girl who I invited. She I wouldn't say she's a recent friend. I've known her, but we've always kind of been acquaintances. But I kind of said in passing, oh yeah, by the way, I'm actually throwing a little get together. If you want to come through, whatever, whatever, kind of like in passing. And then she was like, wow, like, oh my God, so people turn up for your birthday. Like, is this an every year thing? I was like, yeah, everyone always comes for my birthday. And I said, well, it's because I always go to their birthdays. Wow. I'm always,
let's talk about
a birthday, I'm gonna be there. And if I can't make that specific dinner, whatever,
so true.
Girl,
Afterwards.
No, honestly, it's such a thing because you have to actually invest. A lot of people will, when people meet you, they'll look at you and think, oh my gosh, a lot of people love you. You have a lot of friends around you. You have a lot of good people around you. What they don't know is the work that you do behind the scenes.
How
you show up for them.
How you checking in. Like you invest quality time. So a lot of people that you're asking for good friends. You're asking why aren't these people doing this for me? You're not doing it for them.
You're not doing it for them.
When's the last time you checked in on a friend without expecting anything back?
Wow.
And everyone there not expecting anything back. Because
actually pop it up when they need
when it's necessary.
Everything is transactional.
It's very convenient.
Right.
And sometimes you're not always going to be able to
lacking. The selflessness is lacking.
Yeah. Because it's dangerous. It's very dangerous. Because I do want to validate the babes that have struggled with friendship, because there are people out there 100% that everywhere they've turned, people have been horrible to them.
Yeah.
And so like for real, like I genuinely I'm so sorry that has been your experience, because it's even sad to hear those stories, because I'm just like, so there's wickedness like that.
And honestly, jokes aside, that's how these things spread. That's how a lot of people, like, they'll carry the baggage. Like, we know it happens in relationships, but let's talk about it in the friendship context as well. A lot of people will carry their baggage from one friendship. They won't do the work. They won't do the work that needs to be done before deciding to, start making friends with other people for whatever reason. And they start to offload off onto another person, and that person will receive that baggage, start to carry it, and then it's like a domino effect. Like, it's just about, part of being a good friend is what, like you said, working on yourself. Always. We're adults now, so we can't deny. It's not a taboo to admit, like, a lot of people are traumatized by a lot of things, and you've got PTSD, and it's necessary that you work on those things. Don't be ashamed that you have trauma. If you have a conversation with someone, everyone has one trauma or another. So it's just about, are you working on yourself? Are you trying to be a better person? You have to be a better person to be a good friend.
Also like doing kind of tying in that doing the work. Like, my eldest sister, like, it's something because she obviously, when you're the youngest in the family, everyone kind of looks at you like, oh, you don't know anything, you're young. So I remember I was teaching my older sister about love languages, because she had never heard of it in her life. She was like, wait, what? And I said, love languages, there's this thing where it's like there's five love languages, and you can even tie it to friendships, relationships, whatever. And I was saying,
so everything's love.
Yeah. So I basically was reading like all the 5 different love languages, and I said, sometimes the way you give love isn't how someone wants to receive it. And I said, and so basically,
even I've just learned that at my big age recently.
Boom.
Done.
Because you're talking.
No. But I've been a good friend to them. I always get them gifts on their birthday. Yeah, but like,
I want gifts.
I always. But they don't want
it. Gifts.
But have you actually seen them? Have you actually seen their spirit and what they need in that moment?
Bro.
Your friend needs encouragement. You've taken them out to get drunk. What's going on?
Girl, let's go get some cocktails. I don't want cocktails.
But she's going home crying herself to sleep. All she needed was someone to speak to. She didn't need the oons and the. She needed prayer. She needed loving on. She needed encouragement. She needed life.
And it's so crazy because what happens is, and people don't recognize it as a selfishness and a selfishness, a selflessness. A selfishness and a like prideful way of living.
Yes.
But when you're out here just loving people how you want to be loved, that's selfish.
That's it. It's just too convenient.
That's it. It's just too. It doesn't require anything from you.
If life worked like that, if friendships worked like that, there will be a lot of like.
I'll be friends with everybody.
I will have friends with
thousands.
And you know what? Because it'll be so
easy.
It's so easy to love people how you want to be, how you think, or how you want.
I think that's where a lot of people struggle.
Like it removes ownership and it removes intention. It removes taking the time.
It removes time.
Oh, let's
removes this.
You know what's so crazy? I have a recent story. So I have a friend who I've been, good friends with for like. I met her at uni, first week of uni, and she wasn't in my direct friendship group. We were kind of like a separate friendship group, a separate friendship outside my main group, and she also had like a main friendship group from sixth form. So as the years were going on, my birthday comes around, summertime, cool. I then started to realize, hold on, she's actually not attended not one birthday.
Yes.
And it was only this, imagine 9 years, 10 years ago, and I'm like, wait, hold on. She's never attended any birthday.
Not one in 10 years.
Not one. Bear in mind, I've come to maybe like 4 or 5, at least. Cool. So this particular year, I said, you know what, because I was joking with my friend, and we were like, oh, let's see if she comes this year. And I said, you know what, maybe she will. So then the invite.
Let's see if she comes this year.
Let's see if she comes this year. Because this year I said, I have a bit of hope. I think she'll come.
A woman of faith.
A woman of faith.
That's one thing you have to choose to continue to be good in people.
That's it.
But anyways.
Send her the invite, and she's never had a relationship, but this past year in a relationship, right? Cool. So I sent her like,
this is going.
For real.
Send her the broadcast message. I was like, hey girl, birthday, 8th of July, it's in my house, but it's like an all-day thing, so people come in and out whenever, it's kind of like literally from 3 p.m. to midnight. Summertime, just come through whenever you can. She's like, hey girl, oh my god, yeah, I'm there, cool. So then it reaches reaches like the date of my birthday. So my birthday celebration was gonna be like 3-4 days after. So on the day of my birthday, she was like, hey girl, happy birthday, oh my god, babe, imagine my boyfriend has actually booked a surprise dinner for me on the 8th. So, oh my god, I'm not going to be able to make it. Oh my god. So I'm thinking, once again.
Isn't it
once again you come in with a
no, but what
coincidence. So then I left it and I just aired the message. Because you know you just think like this is the actual day of my birthday. Let me not be pissed off. So I said on my birthday. So I said, you know what is what is. So it comes to the date of the birthday. One of my friends is a detective. She was looking at socials. She was like, no, I don't think she was at that dinner. Because from Exhibit A and Exhibit B, it looks like she was actually here and there. And I was like, right, cool.
Oh, so she
never, no. But then she was like, oh, by the way, I'm so sorry I couldn't make your birthday. But she has a friend who's an artist. Like every year he does this big birthday, this huge event. So she's like, oh, every year, Nana, come to this, we can celebrate there. I don't want to celebrate your friend's birthday. I want to celebrate at my birthday. So that's what I did. Do you know what, actually?
She might have been there.
So my whole thing is, you want to show love. You just want it to be convenient. Actually, let's just hang out here. I don't want to
Let's just do this.
Let's just do this. No, because
I want to celebrate my birthday within the setting that I organised.
So that's when I said, you know what? There are certain people where it's like, actually, this is also an expiry date in the friendship. Sometimes it's also about like.
That's what I did earlier. It's smelling.
It's smelling is off. It's off. Expiry date. Sometimes like, you know, I don't even have to have a conversation. That is the conversation. Yeah. You don't value what I value. So.
Yeah, and it's not as if you haven't given it multiple chances.
10 years, 10 birthdays.
But can I ask though, was there ever a point where you, even though you don't have to, because at the end of the day, she knows to do better. She's an adult as well. But was there ever a time in that friendship where, after like a few years have passed, did you think, should I sit this girl down and ask her what it actually like is the problem?
And you know what? When it was all said and done, I said actually yes. So the reason I say that is because. Throughout that year, when she like I feel like it was all about this relationship because as soon as the relationship began, it was like, oh girl, let's meet up then. Oh my god, sorry girl, can't make it.
Yeah.
Girl, let's meet up then. Oh, sorry girl, can't make it. So it was like.
Yeah.
Thing. But then it was never a thing of like. I never took it personally because like I also want to allow people to flourish in their new
of course
beginnings.
Yeah,
but at the same time, I was like, actually, I should have within that year. I should have been like, oh girl, like we actually haven't met up. You keep postponing, like
what's up?
Like, should it just now be a friendship where we just see, literally I'll see you when I see you, and then we can just keep moving. I feel like also it's like you never really expect it till it happens, and then you're like, okay.
Like, what do I do now?
What do I do now?
How's it gonna go?
Yeah.
So I get that, and another thing that I've realised.
I hope she ate well anyway.
Girl.
Another thing.
I hope it was bottomless.
Another thing that I'm starting to realise, even though I knew this already before, but I think the more conversations I have with my friends, like. Friendships aren't always rosy and daisy. There are times where you have to have difficult conversation, and that is okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's actually okay. Like, things can't, as human beings, you know, we're complex beings. So that naturally comes with having uncomfortable conversations. If you're not happy about something, if you're not sure about something, or where you stand in someone's hand, call them up on it. You have, especially, do you know what? You don't do it for everybody. Do you know the people you do it for? The ones you care about.
That's it! You got it!
If you care about them, you will communicate.
You took it out of my mouth.
You don't do that with every friend. You do it. You don't do it with the acquaintances because they're acquaintances. The reason you don't expect
that from them anyway. You don't expect
fine.
That's I expect things from the people that I genuinely love and care about.
Expect something from, I'm going to pull you up on it because I don't want it to get to a point where in a few years' time I'm going to blame myself. I look back at what it should have ended, right? If you care about something, do we just let it go? Just
absolutely not.
So,
mate, for me, if I've said that you're my sister, there's an issue, I must address it. I must can.
We have to.
Because if I do not, then that means I don't care about you, genuinely. Because more time, the things I don't address is because it doesn't bother me. It doesn't cross my mind. But if something has come to me that, like, you know what, no, this doesn't sit well with me. Like, it doesn't say that doesn't speak to that friendship being bad. It actually just speaks to you just being humans. There's something that's happened here. It could be anything. It could be anything. You feel like, okay, I should have addressed this. This wasn't good. This happened. I didn't like it. That's okay. I think your friend will even respect the fact that you've come and you've taken them to the side and been like, this hurt my feelings, and you're like, they will respect that.
And you know, I like growing up, I was not. I used to see a lot of things as confrontation, and I felt very uncomfortable having difficult conversations. And if I'm being completely honest, part of growing up is knowing that those conversations will happen and not shying away from it. I think the issue is how you go about them. The issue is your tone. The issue is like your body language, how you bring it up. Those are what count more than actually obviously the conversation you're about to have matters, but it's the way you present it that matters. If you come in a confrontational front, that's how it could potentially lead up.
Right. And that also shows that you don't care because you wouldn't want to talk to someone that you love and care about like their rubbish or their dirt on your feet. Like, you want to address them with love so that they receive it with love.
Exactly. And sometimes you can't control how people receive information. Sometimes you can't control it. But as long as you know you're trying your best
and you've done
to
your
address
part
it in the best way possible. And one thing I do want to point out is I might have said it already, but part of growing up is genuinely knowing that and just accepting that difficult conversations are going to come up, and do not shy away from them. I used to shy away from it, and I don't. Thinking back, would I say I've lost friendship because of it? I feel like my friends would have been very understanding of it, or maybe it just never arose that I would have to have a difficult conversation. But I just every time, let's say someone upset me or anything, I probably wouldn't address it. Like, I'd just be like, you know what, I don't want to talk about it. Like, let's just move on and pretend it doesn't happen. But those things accumulate. If you don't speak about it. And noticing that in my adult life now, I'm so glad I've learned that it's better late than never. So now that I know it, I will never, if I feel like I have to speak about something, I will pull my friend up, and I've seen the way it's improved in my friendships, and just the quality of what I'm getting from my friendships and what they're getting from me.
I want to speak on that so much because I feel like confrontation is an opportunity. That's what
now I see it.
Confrontation is an opportunity for a relationship to either grow or to die.
Right.
Like, that's
literally the best way to see
it. If you're in a relationship and you don't have any confrontation, are you really talking? Are you growing?
And confrontation
is there anything
a bad light?
It's not a bad thing.
Attached as a bad thing.
It's not.
That's why I used to shout.
It's not shouting that.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be.
Confrontation literally just means there's an issue that you need to address. That's what a confrontation. That's English. Do you know what I mean? Simple. But what's crazy to me, I think we should actually speak about that, because another thing, Post-25, a lot of people are very set in their ways, right? So you will know. I personally think you will see who a true friend is. When there's an issue. So for me, how you speak to me when there's a disagreement really, really resonates with me. Because one thing about me, one thing about me,
let them know.
Okay? One thing about me, God has dealt with me because before, this mouth wasn't good. It wasn't good. But now, especially with the knowledge of what I'm capable of, what God has done in my life, I'm very grateful.
Upon reflection.
You know, upon reflection and upon, you know, pruning by the Holy Spirit.
Hallelujah.
Where I am today, God is great. And so I always, by God's grace, I really, like when I have an issue with something, I really try my best to make sure that if I come to speak to somebody with utmost respect, and even if someone comes to bring an issue to me, that the way I speak to them and I take what they've said to me, I take it with grace and I take it with respect. If I've come to address you with kindness,
please meet
and
me
it's
there.
wickedness that you want to meet me with, that is a lot for to me.
That's more than enough.
To me, you've told me who you are, and for me,
You've hated me the whole time.
because if you claim to be my friend, personally, this is how I believe it. If you claim to be my friend, but you speak, but in a moment of disagreement, you can speak to me as though like I'm nothing to you. That is enough for me.
Because people always remember how you made them feel, not what you said.
How you made them
Like you might even forgot what they said, but what I know.
I know how
made you feel learned.
I have a real life example actually. So there was one time I go to this Bible fellowship and there was one of my friends there that she was doing something at the Bible fellowship that just rubbed me the wrong way. And so as my body language, don't think about me, once I think something is off in the air, I just start to become a bit. So my face changed.
Shut down.
The screw face was on and I became a bit cold. So, but I didn't. Obviously, that's not the right time to address it. So I've left it there. And so I think they've either messaged me or something's happened anyway, and I've now had to confront the issue because I've just been like this. I don't like to also hold things. If there's an issue, let's talk about it. So I've spoken to her, but like, obviously because of the thing that it was something that really, really upset me. Like I could have cried about it. Like it was very, very like I just didn't like it. But on the phone, as much as I was very upset about what happened, I still took it as an opportunity for me to just be nice and be very kind about it. And one thing she said to me, like towards the end of the conversation, was like, "I like, but you handled this was so mature. Like, I know that if I was speaking about this with somebody else, they could have just started calling me all types of names, saying all these things about me, like bragging, but you were so kind, you were so respectful, and that just changes how the confrontation ends because you've treated that person as a human being.
And if you notice as well, if depending on how close you were, if you notice
closer now,
we'll be closer now.
Because you appreciate that. We can be honest with each other. Me personally, as friend as well, if I can't be honest with you or you can't be honest with me, I don't like that. I don't like friendships where I'm good eggshell. I don't believe in that type of friendship. It doesn't work for me.
Like it's so
I'm
rare.
not be as close to you.
Why is it such a
how can I not be transparent and vulnerable?
Why is it such a rare trait to be honest, but in a respectful kind way?
Because people think they look like an idiot.
Can I be very honest with you?
Think.
I could be wrong, but I personally think being honest in friendship is. Well, maybe I shouldn't downplay it, but being honest in friendship is not.
It's the bare minimum.
I think a lot of people can do that. It's not. So I don't think my issue is about being honest. It's how you.
It's the delivery.
It's the delivery because a lot of people can deliver things in different. There are lots of options on how things can be delivered, and it can be very hard to choose the right one. You know, for that person.
And that's where self-reflection comes in because if you know a lot of the times when you message people and the way you write things isn't well received, call them, meet them up, meet them face to face. Like I think a lot of people you just make excuses like I can't confront them because whenever I message them or whenever I message someone problems like the way they receive it is blah blah blah. No,
change the method.
You know where they live. If you're close friends, you know where they live. You have their number.
One thing I would say,
if you can't do it on your own, get a mediator. Someone that it sounds bizarre, but it's like these are things. There's so many steps in place. The Bible says there's so many steps in place to help you confront if you can't do it.
Also, time is another thing. Heck, if you know maybe this type of time of day isn't the best time to reach them. Wait till the end of the day.
Right.
You know, there's
some people you're calling them and you're trying to confront someone whilst they're at work. You don't know the stress that they had. You don't know their supervisors probably told them off. So of course they're not going to receive any. They're not going to read the room. They're not going to receive any kind of message the best at that time. My supervisor has just told me off, and you're coming to tell me off as well. Exactly. You have to know your friends.
There are friends that I know that I can literally tell them anything, anytime, and it'll be alright. But that's because that's our friendship. There's some people I know I can't tell you this because if I tell you now,
It's me that's
One
bad
that
guy.
day. Do you know?
It's me that's just villain.
This actually.
No, because let's not even.
Let's not even. It's
No.
because at the end of the day, you're always gonna be a villain in someone's story.
Someone's story.
No, do you know
Why
what? Sorry, I need to go.
She said next.
I need to work because I've noticed when you're an honest person, you automatically are labeled a villain, like automatically, without saying.
And can I just say that's something along the way that I noticed about you, and I didn't like that. Like people would be like, "Oh, she's too blunt, she's too honest," like, and they'll kind of label it in a way that's negative or to make it seem as if you can't go to her with anything that's too serious or anything that you know will upset you because the way she'll respond to it, you're not ready.
No, can I be? And the real thing is you'll just be triggered because she's telling the truth.
Right, exactly.
I know what she's saying.
And I've noticed that, and they'll look at it in a way where it's like. And I would look at it in a way where it's like, what are you even saying? It's because you know what she says convicts you.
Yeah, that's literally it. It's because you feel convicted. If you don't want, like,
it's conviction.
Do you know what it is? That since we're talking about like, if you have an issue and you actually want a solution to the issue, or you want to see a way forward from the issue, and that's actually your intention, then you wouldn't find someone like Ayo to be blunt in a bad way.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you want someone to baby your action,
or you want to stay in rubbish,
or you want to stay,
then she's not.
or you want someone to
you.
sugarcoat it that you might not.
I feel like you're very similar to that as well. Like you two are very similar.
Then I might not be the person who
I'm sorry, if I know I want to continue doing rubbish, I want to go to you because I already know what I'm going to hear. How can I get angry when I hear what I know she's already going to say?
Call declined. Don't contact me.
No, because for real, I'm never going to say it on my morals. I'm always going to stand 10 toes down on who I am.
Just I also want the best for my friends.
That's it.
Like, that's the ultimate key here. Like, what you're doing is going to be a detriment to you. So you do you, but I'ma do me. It's all for you at the end of the day.
All for you. And the thing is, and that's why I said God has done a work on me, because I know that in the beginning it could have been a sticky situation. Yes, it could have come from a judgmental place. It could have come from a very blunt, no love was added to the truth. That was good. But now by God's grace, it's grace and truth that I'm giving.
Yeah.
And if you still don't want that, then that's on you.
Yeah.
It all goes back to different friendships serving different purposes. I don't know if you're all guilty of it, but they're just certain friends. Like if you, let's say you've just done something, or maybe you want advice on something, but the advice that you want, you know, it's a certain advice that you want. We all know we have the friends that will go to encourage the bad behaviour, and we have the friends to go to that will just speak sense and you just feel like rubbish. So,
and it's a balance at the end of the day, because there are sometimes where you do need that soft. You know, like if you're dealing with something, you know,
Come to mama.
sometimes you just need
you just need a baby.
I don't need you to tell me, girl, I told you, girl, I know.
But even that's so true. That's so true, but it's also learning to have nuance as a friend, because that's one thing that when you grow up you notice you have to have nuance. If every time it was a serious situation that you're not telling everybody what they need to do, you need prayer as well, because you yourself know when you're in mess, is it every time that you need to get.
And I think that's something that God did work me, because I went from one extreme to the other. I went from being like soft like one, and I went to the other one, and then I realised, okay, I need to actually find the balance. Like, Holy Spirit help me.
No, the Holy Spirit will really help you, because there's times where you
ask and you'll receive.
This person doesn't need any like advice; they need comfort.
Yes,
and that's okay.
Like, you know what? Funny that we say that. Yeah, I had a friend recently that came to me and she was telling me just about a situation with guys and whatever, as girls do, right? And you know, while she was talking, I was thinking, why did this girl come to me? What does she want from me? I was thinking all throughout when she was talking. So at the end of her saying her piece, I said to her, what have you come to me for? Do you want advice? Do you want a listening ear? Or what do you want? Do you know what she said? To be honest, I just wanted you to listen. Because if I'd given my advice, it could have easily gone left, because that's not what she came for. So it's about getting that clarity on exactly what it is. Like,
again, reading the room.
And as soon as she told me, it wasn't an advice from me, I just wanted you to listen. It was a very productive conversation, because I listened. I didn't give her advice on it. I literally stuck to exactly what it was. And I spoke as well, and I didn't ask for advice. Like, sometimes it's just let's listen. Sometimes you just want to vent. And you know what? Naturally, it's a natural reaction as when a friend comes to you. It's like, but I think,
in my opinion,
sometimes
you know you didn't.
Sometimes I didn't come to you for that. Sometimes it's just like my baby.
Just be a shoulder to cry.
That's all. No, asking questions.
I had to ask. What did you
It's so true. It's so like
why did you come to me
to ask a question? Like that's what, even in relationships, because men get a bad rap for this year. You tell a man, especially in a relationship, you tell your man all the things that they want to give you all the advice. They want to tell you
do this.
Why do you do this? But then if all you did, or even as a girl, if you just said, babe, I just need you to listen to me today, yeah? No advice, please. Or the man asks no advice, please. Facts. Or advice, no. Not now. Thanks. Or the guy asks you, okay, babe, as you're telling me all of these things, do you just want me to listen? Do you just want me to listen and say,
should we get practical solutions?
Or because as you ask that, I've also known that you care about me, because at least I know now you want to respond the correct way. Exactly.
Either way,
versus just going blasé into things.
And that's what men tend to do that, you know.
A lot.
I've explained like you've shut me down.
Boyfriends, male best friends.
And then now you're gonna know them. The original one even.
Now it's displaced anger.
And boys get so confused, they're like, but wait, you were just upset at something.
Yeah,
well, how did this happen? That's how.
That's literally how. We didn't come to you for
Ask for love.
because we know you were the real advisor of days. We know it's you, but we didn't come for that today. You know?
And I love that about men. I'm not even gonna lie. I love that about men.
Because one thing about a man, he's gonna find a solution. When you're with
we love a man that has a solution. Because some of you have no solution.
Some men you're creating more problems than the extra baggage.
You get guys that are like, oh, I swear.
Oh, that's mad.
Oh, that's mad, isn't it?
Oh, that's mad.
Some people, their only problem solving is to take off their clothes. So,
and on that note,
oh, you're sad. Let's go to the bedroom.
Let's go.
And
Really, that just reminds me. Sorry. That's it. You know that video? Have you ever seen that tweet where you would tell a man, oh, my this bit hurts, but they're going somewhere else?
Yeah, like, I've got a headache.
They're going somewhere else to fix the issue. How did you get that there?
What's actually going on? And you haven't even asked me how I am.
Where are you going?
it's your hand is inside my leggings.
Continuously is not getting to
What happened from paracetamol inside the leggings?
Drink some water. Like, and this thing, you know.
Yeah, those are the ones we don't need.
No.
Yeah, we don't want that's the extra baggage.
ones. We need real problem solving for real. We need real listeners.
So we say all of that to say, guys, don't. Wait, I'm coming.
Now.
I say that one through me. We say all of that to say that do not lose hope when it comes to making friends. Like, take everything we've said on board. You know, if
I learned a lot from this too.
Honestly, if you're in a season where you know you've kind of gone quiet, think, okay, have I communicated this to my friends? Have I let them know that this is where I am mentally? Like, do they actually know, or could this actually create more problems than you had prior to going into that season? Or if you're on the flip side, you're looking for friends, you don't know where to start. Honestly, I genuinely believe prayer. Pray, ask God.
About prayer.
Genuinely.
Just another question to ask yourself if you're the person looking for friends. It's not a bad thing to work on yourself, and that's not to be. I'm not trying to be like condescending, but genuinely like. And I know people will say you need to be healed you need to be healing. No one's saying you need to be the finished product, but you need to be actively doing something. Because if you're just idle when you're looking for these friends, where you are, they've gone.
You're not attracting the right.
You're gonna be attracting people that are broken. Everything is broken. Everything is
aligned, and you start to see shakiness.
Yes, but when you're when you're on your healing journey, when you're on your healing journey, you will even start to realize, I don't even want that type of friend. Right. You need to also be having a barometer to the type of friend you want. It's not everybody that is there that you should not be saying you want to be friends with.
And don't allow time to dictate your friendship. If just because you've been friends for 10 years, 15 years. It's actually okay. Like certain things could actually end amicably, and we move. Like there's a time to be in year 2, there's a time to be in year 12, there's a time to be first year of uni. Things have its seasons.
You're like,
she said year 2, year 12,
uni, and then your first job. Like there's times and seasons for everything. Like some people are unfortunately just meant to be your friend in that season, and that's okay.
Stretch it more than that.
You know,
let it go then.
Don't overcook it.
That's that season.
And the message that I want to put out is also, and I think we've touched on it. Actually, touched on it briefly. Is just the people that do have friends. as she was talking about communication, just give your friends grace, because we can't read each other's minds at the end of the day. So if you do have an issue with that one friend and you just haven't spoken about it and you're ready to cut things off, right before coming to that solution, if you haven't addressed it, do address it. Think of the best way to sit down with that person, have that conversation, because you just never know. Their point of view might also be very valid, and you might start to understand more. You know, we can be very harsh when it comes to our friends sometimes, because we're very familiar with them, so we have them to have certain expectation of them and vice versa. So give each other grace. Like, you know.
Sometimes you just gotta sit down with the sisters and talk.
That's why we do this podcast.
You so powerful.
If you've ever looked on our page, it says a sister is a mirror and your mirror and your opposite. They show you yourself, but they can also be completely different to you. And it's embracing all parts of that journey. Every single. When you come to listen to us, we're not here to speak as though we know better. We're all doing it at the same time.
That's why
we're learning.
That's why every time at the end of most of our episodes, I always say I've learned something.
Yeah.
I take it into my daily life and try to implement it. So it's not like we know it all. We're not gurus, we're not experts.
No,
we're just
friends living our lives, and that's why you're sitting down with us. You're not looking at us. You're sitting down with us.
A word.
With that key.
A word.
No, thank you so much.
You have been SMS. I guess.
You really did a good job. Like I know you.
Wow.
No, this was so good.
That's what they my mom. We want to thank your mom.
Shout out to Mama.
Thank you guys for watching this week. I have loved this.
Honestly, all her details will be down below in the description box. Her podcast, her personal page, if you want it.
Everything will be there.
Will be there.
Follow her. You guys already saw. If you like this, come on.
Yeah, guys, we'll see you on our next episode.
Bye.
Oh, this was so
wow, I needed that.